Hi, guys. Welcome back to your Royal BFF, the People's Duchess. Happy Sunday. Oh, man. And what a great Sunday it is, right? Oh, and as always, happy Women's History. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me because I am not able to my mic is doing this weird thing. Well, not my mic actually. It's actually StreamYards is doing this weird thing where remember how the last live stream we could not hear the stuff in the back whenever I played a certain scene, we couldn't hear it very well. So I want to make sure that we can hear it. So if you guys can hear the volume is okay, please do let me know. But yeah, shout out to all the new squatties that are subbed to the channel and all the new members. Welcome one, welcome all. Here you will find a safe space to decompress, relax, and just tune out all the noise. And I really hope you guys are doing well. I'm super relaxed this Sunday myself. I've done my meal prep. I'm doing coconut curry tofu over rice and then coconut curry sauce the other half of the week. Let me see if my mic will actually work here. Okay, there we go. Wait, no, that's not it. I think this is it. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I don't know why, my mic is acting so weird today. So this is my other half of the week. So I'm doing coconut curry tofu over rice and coconut curry sauce for half of the week. And then I made some okra soup for the other half. And if you don't know what okra soup is, it's this delicious concoction made with okra. Nigerians call it okra soup with an O. So from Wednesday till next Sunday, I'm on okra soup. I just cleaned the whole house, top to bottom, and I have this I have a ranch style house, so it's like a U shape, not a ton of space, but it's like a finite, right? It's a finite space. It's kind of spacious, but it's just me, so it seems like it's a lot. And I started at 6 a.m. and I just got done. But it does put me in a relaxing mood. Cleaning my house really puts me in a relaxing mood. And Sundays are my deep cleaning days. So I do the baseboards, I do the floorboards, I do the walls, the windows. I do it all. Welcome everybody that just joined the chat. Hi, Fancy, Gwendolyn. Nice to see y'all. So yeah, I do everything. Um, I do the closets too. I clean everywhere with the solution that I make. It's like lemon, rosemary, and mint distilled in water or in distilled water rather. And it's like the easiest thing to make. It's completely eco-friendly. There's no byproduct, no waste because I take the compost from that when I'm done and then I put them into my plant, grind them into like not a paste really, it's watery. So I grind them up and then I put them into my plants. There it is. Ugh, I don't know why my mic was just not trying to connect. But yeah, so it's like zero waste cleaning. I found a little bit of time to work out, but not a whole lot. I just did 40 minutes of home Pilates and now I'm here with y'all. Super excited. Lots of really good news lately. I will try to keep the stream to about an hour. Many of us have early days tomorrow, and I want y'all to get at least 9 hours. So you need an hour to pregame the sleep and then the actual 8 hours of sleep. So I just wanted to chit chat about the upcoming events in Australia. Oh my gosh, y'all. Yes, I saw the statement. I saw the statement. Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan are, you know what? They're just really sure of themselves. And I'm so glad to see that they've found their footing. Yes, I was gagged. Yes, it was necessary. And you know what? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is the year of the fire horse. If you guys aren't familiar with the Chinese New Year's calendar, the fire horse is a very specific and rare combination in the Chinese New Year that only occurs once every 60 years. In other words, this is a once in a generation type of situation, type of deal that we have here. Um, this is not the year to be humble. This is not the year to be meek. This is not the year to turn the other cheek. This is not the year for stiff upper lips. This is the year to go goblin mode, like just full on goblin mode. And if you're a member of this channel and you've watched my members only content, you know that I give the best advice as far as how to go full goblin mode and just like not care anymore, which is what I think the family at this point should do because everyone else is going goblin mode. Like, why not? Why maintain a facade when you don't have to? Life is so short. And if you're a good person, going goblin mode just looks like that statement for for the most part. Like it's look, I'm not going to sit here and play these games with you. I'm going to tell you exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it because it's very obvious. So it's nice that Harry and Meghan get to participate in the real world now that they've left the confines of the firm. Everyone in the real world always has the opportunity to defend themselves when needed. I don't think that celebrities are like above the real world. They live in and among us. So when someone says something that's completely untrue, they should have every right to say, hey, that's completely untrue. Like, I like the fact that they also kept it very brief and it's not like an ongoing thing. You know, they have so much going on and we never know what's really going to happen until after the fact when they release it because they no longer really do these like press releases and announcements and stuff like that. They do it sometimes, like they have here with the Australia trip. But I'm even surprised, like, I'm still surprised that they even announced this Australia trip. I have been guesstimating for the longest now. I've been just guesstimating, like, okay, well, why did they do that? But honestly, I can't really come up with a great conclusion. I think only because it's the right to do so. It's the right to say, hey, yeah, we're going to be here, and I think it has something to do as well with the nature of the trip itself, since they are participating in like business endeavors versus anything for, let's say, Archwell or any other professional endeavor. This is specifically like a for-profit type of venture. So I think that the idea was, hey, let's get some people on board or let's get the right people. I'm not sure. I'm only guesstimating and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for me personally, I just didn't see any benefit to it. The 300 people that were going to get those tickets to Meghan's, to the Her Best Life retreat, they were going to get those tickets regardless. And I think that the event would have been the same had they just not announced it the way that they did. Like with Godmothers, like with the Godmothers fireside chat, for example, they sold tickets to that show and that show got sold out, or the event got sold out. And I'm not sure how I think it was like posted on Instagram or social media. I know I saw the social media post for it, but like I don't know exactly how they went about selling those tickets, but that was also a sold out show. So Callie Jen. Let me see here. I want to pull up your comments, but I want to also get my. Okay, here we go. Callie Jen, welcome to the chat. They probably didn't believe it would sell so quick. I don't know about that, hun. I don't know. Anything with Meghan, I think that they know that it's going to be immediately sold out. These people know what the Meghan effect is. They're not unfamiliar with her. They know who she is. They know her impact. Everyone has watched the documentary. Everyone has seen the Meghan effect in real time. We all watched her sell everything out in Dubbo. We all watched her, go through that tour and all her tours actually, and really command that attention and command that space. They know. So I don't know that they have to advertise. Like, why would they have to advertise something that Meghan's going to when they can just do it like quietly? And that's just for me, like for me personally. I know that obviously there's a business plan that was drafted for this and people wanted to advertise it. So that's what they're doing here, in my opinion. Callie Jen, I think Meghan is humble. She's surprised every time As Ever sells out. Yeah. She's quite humble, very much so. But I think she also knows her media power. I think that they're very aware that there will be a certain amount of coverage from a certain amount of outlets globally. So no matter what she says or does, whatever she puts out into the social media space is going to be immediately picked up by many, many, many people. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, humility is great and everything, but like, do you really need to be humble when you're Meghan Markle? Sorry, Meghan Sussex, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Like, I don't think that you need to be humble if like this is you, if this is your life and you're like this like really grand person. I think that the tickets are going to sell no matter what. I don't think that they need to be advertised at all because social media will pick it up as soon as the tickets go on sale. There's a certain type of person that's always watching for Meghan News, and that will be broadcasted when she does place her name on anything. So I don't know. That was a sold out event, right? The fireside chat was a sold out event, and I don't know. I kind of think that this would have been a great trip to also pop up on people and then just say like, yeah, it was sold out, because again, those 300 women were going to get those tickets regardless. But hey, I support all of the decisions, right? Whatever they do, I support all of their decisions. They're grown. They can do and say whatever they want, which is what I love about them. And I support that wholly, full stop. Like, what I don't like is any stress, is the stress being brought upon them. I guess it's because as it is, I'm already pretty territorial over Nigerians in general. And ever since learning that Meghan was Nigerian, I've become very much like wanting to protect her, even more so than I already have. I feel like a duty to maintain our image. And for that reason alone, I'm 100% behind her decisions. And I think it's pretty much the same sentiment anyone has anywhere. If you're part of any group, you feel a certain closeness to the members of said group, especially when you're away from the main herd, so to speak. So those of us that are, here or elsewhere in the world, outside of Africa, outside of Nigeria specifically, there's this camaraderie. There's this sense of you want to be close, you want to kind of protect, which is why I cannot really like shade other African women or Black women in general. I just can't bring myself to do it. I know that some women are super out of pocket, like Tyla was, like the Marchioness of Bath is currently, but I just cannot bring myself to like shade these women because of that. Because for one, they are African women, and I just can't. I'm more likely to try to understand them than to shade them. I want to understand like why it is that you're causing this controversy or why it is that you're doing whatever it is that you're doing that's got people talking in the negative, right? So I'm just very like particular about that. But like, yeah, I definitely just want to like protect Meghan. And I don't like whenever they put out a statement about where they're going to go. And then this type of thing occurs to where they have to put out another statement like the one that they did, which I love that statement. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, gagged, but oof, it's just the stress behind it is what I don't like. Hey, Rebecca Arthur. Welcome to the chat. Nice to see you. So, yeah, I mean, I spent a majority of the time in America, but I have lived outside of the US for like a large chunk of my life as well. Um, and including in Africa. I've traveled pretty extensively and I have the privilege of camaraderie with many groups of people and especially Nigerians. So, yeah, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on it, but hey, I don't give anyone a free pass if they come for making. Yeah. I mean, and I shouldn't look, don't get me wrong. I know that this is my weakness, right? This is my Black Achilles heel. This is my kryptonite for the most part. Like other Black women, Black people in general, like just, I don't know, maybe because I'm from this tribe, I just have a very hard time, even when they are like being out of pocket, right? Even when Tyla was being out of pocket, even when Emma, whatever her name was, being out of pocket towards Meghan, I want so badly to be like, oh, hell no, you guys, but I cannot do it. When I consider the fact that these are African women, I just, and it's not like I like them, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they are people that I'm fans of, but at the same time, I just can't like, I don't know. It's my problem. I'm definitely working on it. I'm definitely like, trying to think more objectively about people who participate in this type of like behavior, but it's hard for me. It's just really hard for me to do that. I'm working on it though. But yeah, no. It would just be really nice to have more like positive role models in those climates, especially in the climates that have seen like really tough challenges like wars and colonization. I don't think the money or the status or anything usurps or overshadows the fact that you come from a country that these things are going on in. Like Nigerians, for example, let's take Joshua Anthony, for example. He went home in December and lost 2 of his friends while he was there and, survived himself. But look at his life. Like he was affected terribly by the things that happened in Nigeria, right? So it doesn't really matter like how much money you have or where you come from. You're still going to be affected by things like war and colonization whenever you do go back to Nigeria or whenever you do visit anywhere, for the most part, that is destabilized because of these 2 things. You're still subject to those things. So like I feel like even as rich as like a person like Anthony Joshua or Emma Marchioness of Bath is, they're still Nigerians. They still come from these places. And no matter what, that mindset is still a certain mindset. You know what I mean? Like it's, no matter how rich you are as a Nigerian person, even Dangote, the world's richest man in Africa. Well, he's like the richest man in Africa, and then he has like another like record because he's like a multi-billionaire. I think his net worth is around 4 billion or something like that. So even a man like Dangote, as rich as he is, he's still affected by the mentality that colonization raised him in Nigeria. Like you cannot escape that. So I'm not quick to like say, oh no, this person's terrible. Da, da, da. I know it's probably not like the best excuse ever, but like people that come from disenfranchised places, they have this kind of warped sense of reality. They have this very much, and it's not their fault. In my opinion, it's not their fault because they have to kind of like scrap to survive. It kind of like is a way of life. You have to be scrappy. You have to get over before you get over on type of situation. It's like dog eat dog. So when you grow up in that mentality and you have parents that grew up in that mentality, active colonization mentality, it's different, and it's difficult for you to overcome that no matter where you are in the world and no matter how much money you have in the world. So I don't know. I mean, probably that sounds very, very much like an excuse, but I promise you, like, I'm just trying to understand people and meet them where they are and be a little bit more understanding these days and not so quick to, like, judge. Um, Rebecca, welcome to the chat. I believe they have a reason for putting the Aussie trip out, knowing the haters and Rhoda will make some noises. Yeah, it's something, because they could have easily sold 300 of these tickets in Australia quietly. We would have never even known about it. There could have been a clause in the ticket sale that said you cannot post about this. Like, it would have sold, in my opinion, regardless. So I don't know. I think that there is a reason that we're just not, like, super familiar with, but until we understand what that is, I don't know. I don't know. But, it is Women's History Month. So again, happy History Month to all of the women out there, all of the moms, the daughters, the sisters, the aunties, the grandmothers, and all of the matriarchs that keep the world running. You guys are everything. I miss my mom so much. I was just talking to her, like, last night, and she was she she was okay, let me get it together. She was telling me this story about how, like, when she first got to the prison that she works at, the inmates kept asking her for Vaseline and she didn't know why. and, she, and she was giving it to them. Sorry. So stupid. She was like, she said she was just giving it to them and she didn't understand why. And then one of the officers finally asked her, like, hey, are you giving the inmates Vaseline? Like, it's like it's not even a travel size. It's like, the little plastic cups that they give you, like a sample of something in with a little snap-on plastic cap. That's what they have. So she was giving them. It's like a single serve Vaseline. I laughed until I cried. I don't know why that story is, like, so funny to me, but it's so, the way my mom tells it with all her the fiaquas and oh my god. She was, like, just so mad because she was embarrassed because her supervisor approached her and was like, why don't you know this? Like, why don't you know this about inmates? So shout out to all the moms, especially, like, the funny moms who have really great stories and keep us entertained and entertained and entertained. I am so appreciative of y'all. But yeah, so with this whole Australia thing, the reason why it's a thing is because it's been a thing for a very long time with the British royal family. If you don't know, like, the history behind the British royal family, they are not great. They have done some really terrifying things in Australia as well, starting in 1786 with the Home Secretary deciding that he was going to dump the inmates, the former convicts and inmates and troublemakers in the United Kingdom. He was going to go ahead and sail them out to Australia and dump them off over there. So the ships departed England under Captain Arthur Phillip in 1788. And it was a time. It was a time. There were over 60,000 Indigenous Australians that occupied Australia, that lived in Australia. Sorry, not 60,000. There were Indigenous Australians in Australia for over 60,000 years before the invasion. And colonization brought, like, mass land grabs, land seizures, massacres, disease, and then they had their own Epstein ring type situation, which was funded by the crown. And this was a deliberate effort to snatch kids away from their parents. And that served two purposes. It served to assimilate those kids into the British culture and way of life, and then eradicate the elders in the indigenous colonies so that the bloodline would discontinue. Same thing they did in Canada. We talked about this a couple of lives ago. They had residential schools where they would come in, bust down doors of Indigenous Canadians, Native Americans, and Native Canadians, take the children, make up some crime that they alleged that was going on to take the children. They would do that. They would put them in these residential schools, punish them if they spoke their native languages, forced assimilation. And whenever there was any kind of issue, or maybe if anyone just got upset enough, there would be a lot of unalivings of these children, and then they would be buried in the mass graves, so on and so forth. So they did the same type of situation in Australia, and there has always been this strife between Indigenous Australians and the Crown. The Crown, they've never seceded their sovereignty to the Crown. They've never said, we accept that we are being colonized. They have never one day given the Crown that secession of their sovereignty. So there's a lot of conflict. And I think the main reason, and we'll go over them, the main reason they are in a lot of trouble over everything that's going on, and by they, I mean like the British royal family, because they have this way of behaving that is not quite conducive to like people, right? They come into a place, and instead of saying, hey, look, we're going to rectify what we've done, we're going to take care of what we've done, we're going to right this wrong, they come into a place and they just go, you know what? Yeah, we did this a long time ago and we're sorry about that, but you know what? Basically get over it. Like the way that they word their speeches whenever they're talking about like colonization or the things that they've done in any of the countries that they go to, Jamaica, for example, they go out there, they're like, oh, we're so sorry we colonized you. But then there's like no meat behind it. It's just all fluff. How can you be sorry or apologetic about what you've done when you still treat Black members of your own family horribly, when you still treat people that tried to come into your family just because they were not like you terribly? So how can anyone in these Commonwealth countries believe you when in fact you act crazy when given the opportunity around a Black person in your own family? So there's been strife. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I want to play this clip for you because this is probably the main reason why this whole Australia trip is really agitating the Crown. So I want to play this clip and then we'll yap on the other side. So this is, in my opinion, the real reason why everyone is so freaked out. This lady, she's a senator, an Indigenous member of the Australian Parliament. And as you heard, she was there hollering, hooting and hollering at Charles and Camilla and the delegation from the British royal family, saying that he's not their king. Yelling at him to give them their land back, saying that they're a sovereign nation, saying that they don't have a treaty with them, that they never seceded sovereignty, that Charles is not their king. So in my opinion, this is way more cutting than don't get me wrong, the Republic demonstrations are cutting. Okay, those cut to the quick. Or is it the wick? Whatever. They cut down to the bone marrow, okay? When they were calling them parasites at the Commonwealth Day proceedings the other day, that was insanity, bro. That was really cutting. But this, she was right in their face. She was in their face. It was quiet as a church mouse in there. You could hear every single word. There was no distractions. There was no alternative camera angles that was going to give you a different perspective and try to, how they do, they always put music over the booze, right? They put music over the booze, or they cut to a different angle so you're not seeing all the yellow shirts. This is different. This woman was right there, undeniable, clear, concise, very effective. Yes, Lydia Thorpe is in fact her name, Lydia Thorpe. So Lydia Thorpe gave her the business. Yes, Gwendolyn. He said it. She did. She stood on business. She gave them the business. And look at the face. Look at their faces. Like, this is why Harry and Meghan's whole Australia tour is a big threat to them. Not because Harry and Meghan themselves are doing anything wrong, but because this is how they really feel about the royal family. But the exception is they don't feel this way about Harry and Meghan. You will never see Australians getting on Harry and Meghan's bumper like this. They're trying to manufacture this currently. They're trying to get people on ground that will do something like this, but this can't be manufactured. This can't be manufactured. Anyone that you get on ground to go and, I don't know, try to protest or say something to Harry and Meghan, it's not going to have this effect, because this cannot be manufactured. You can't manufacture this type of passion and hate. And again, bots, they don't have legs. They don't have arms. They don't have vocal cords, mostly, right? So for all the bots online that they deploy about every Harry and Meghan post, that's one thing. But bots can't walk over to where Harry and Meghan are going to be and start yelling. They can employ the bots all they want to online, but it's different in person. And again, when they go in person, whenever one of these Royal Rota people go in person to see Harry and Meghan, they act like Jack Royston did when he saw Harry at the Diana Awards, giggling, fangirling, schoolgirling out, taking pictures, smiling from ear to ear, was not disruptive. These people are not going to be disruptive. These people that are calling for the hatred and calling for the, yelling and the violence, they're not going to themselves be disruptive. So if they go over there, they're going to act just like Tom Bower did at Invictus. They're going to act just like Jan Moore did at Godmothers in LA. They're going to behave. They're going to be on their best behavior, matter of fact, because in as much as they say that they don't care for Harry and Meghan or whatever, the fact of the matter is they're persona non grata. And whenever they get the opportunity to slither in someplace, right? Whenever there isn't a strict guest list, like at Invictus, where Tom Bower was able to get into, or like at the Diana Awards, where Jack Royston was able to get into, whenever there isn't the strictest of guest lists, they will go. They want the access. So they're not going to go there and misbehave and act crazy. They will get restricted from the access. And what they want the most is the attention of Harry and Meghan. So they're not going to act crazy. I just feel like this was a very cutting, very interesting thing to watch, because the discrepancy between the way that the royals are treated and the way that Harry and Meghan are treated, for example, is completely different. There's such a high discrepancy. Harry and Meghan's Oceania tour was so highly rated. It was so well received. It broke so many official Guinness World Records and historical royal family records. It's not disputable. You cannot take the data from Harry and Meghan's royal tour and plug that in and say that that wasn't successful or that they were received poorly or that it didn't go so well like others when they've done their tours in, let's say, Canada and Australia. You cannot possibly come to that conclusion because the data says the opposite. They had the highest social media spike for any royal tour with the hashtag Royal Tour and Royal Tour Australia trending globally for 16 days straight. Over 4.2 billion impressions across social media, massive numbers, just like their wedding. They broke significant records that are indisputable as far as the data is concerned. And it would just be, I think, a bit of a blind side to the royal family if they tried to go in and do any better. They'd be blindsided by the amount of protest and the amount of we don't want you here. I think that the media portrays one thing and then the reality is a whole nother thing. Harry and Meghan's royal tour was so successful. So successful. 76 engagements across Australia, Fiji, Tonga, New Zealand in 16 days. Intense. And I think that the Australian people really appreciated the grueling schedule. There was a mindfulness of the time. And by the way, they didn't spend any less than an hour and a half in any of the locations. So if you could imagine them managing 5 engagements a day, 2 hours per each engagement, they're pulling 10-hour days. 8, 9, 10-hour days full of engagements, not your average 45 minutes in a day, 10 minutes from home drive type situation. This was a major royal tour. Especially Invictus Games rolled around. That Invictus Games Sydney stop, that was their highest attended day. That had over 120,000 people that queued in line. So before the event even opened, there was like 120,000 plus people already like waiting to get in. And of those 120,000 people, 90,000 of them bought tickets to that 2018 Invictus Games. And I think that this moment where Meghan came out in this beautiful, I think it was Antonio Berardi, if I'm not mistaken, this tuxedo dress, that was everything. It was everything. The speech, the glow, the makeup, the hair, the dress, the shoes, everything about this was so well done. I'm pretty sure that this was like one of the main reasons. Because you know what? I think Invictus would have been like successful regardless, but Meghan being one of the faces of Invictus right beside Harry has helped it phenomenally. It really matters who you marry. Let's just put it that way. Like it doesn't just affect like you or like your family. It really does affect your long-term. Who you marry is everything. And I think that the work that Harry and Meghan have done together on Invictus has really built it up to what it is. So I think that this is really kind of the reason why a lot of people are looking at it and freaking out a little bit. Um, you've never seen this picture of Meghan before? Yeah. There's a lot of like really hidden gems about this royal tour that I want to kind of get into a little bit further, but I think I'm going to wait until they actually get to Australia and then we can do like a full recap of this royal tour. Normally, I won't. I leave the past in the past because this was a great tour, but we all know that this was like the tour that broke the camel's back. So I don't often look back on it fondly. But in this case, in this retrospective and comparing it to the other Australian tours, it is important to kind of go over the importance of this tour. There were so many moments from this tour that are cemented in history. And again, these are historical records. This is data that cannot be disputed or refuted. You cannot argue with these numbers. You can't say that 90,000 plus people didn't buy tickets. You can't say that over 120 plus thousand people weren't there. You just can't. They took head counts, they documented it. It's in permanent public record. So this is the fear. This is the fear when Harry and Meghan go to Australia. This is the reception that they get versus the reception that all the other royals get. This is one of my favorite moments from this story. This is like, for me, hands down, the funniest I've ever seen Harry in my entire life. He's obviously a very like comedic person, but this moment here really cemented the fact that he's such a good sport, that he knows how to interact with people. He has like a group. He's a guy's guy. This is something that like a guy's guy does. They egged him on to do it. He did it. Boom. Like I was gagged. Harry is so dumb. Like, why would he do this? But it's perfect. It demonstrates clearly that he understands his community. He will do what it takes to get the eyes on the event. This drew so much attention to the Invictus event. You've got 4 veterans here, 3 of them with, well, one of them, I think, with a pretty obvious disability, and then the other 3 really commiserating, just having a good time. Like, who else can do this in the royal family? Like, who else can do this? Oh, you missed the beginning. We covered the beginning of the Oprah interview, Callie, on my channel. So if you want to go back and replay Gang that, we definitely had such a good time. We were on Twitch. We streamed it on Twitch because YouTube, man, y'all don't even know. YouTube hating on me so bad. Like, you can't play anything from any network. You can't do nothing on YouTube. So we streamed on Twitch and it was a really good time. Definitely go back and check that out, Callie Jen. It was one for the books. Yeah, no, Harry is such a good sport. This to me was just the best time. This was the best tour, the best time. This was when we really got to see Harry's personality shine through. And, conversely, this is his dad. This is his dad getting yelled at by the indigenous true owners of the land that he settled on, that he occupied, that his family violently colonized and refuses to apologize for. Hey, Caddy, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us. The UK, our royal family, needs to understand that the world is no longer starry-eyed about them. They are simply wealthy, mere mortals, no blood illusion. Exactly. They refuse to accept that, like, the graciousness and the gratitude that they had for his mother did not carry over. They will not accept that the monarchy, for all intents and purposes, was buried with Queen Elizabeth. Nobody respects Charles. He thinks that he's going to get some kind of respect gleaned off of his mom, rubbed onto him, and that's just not the case. People can't stand Charles. They do not like what he and his wife did to Diana. It was not nice, because people are able to put themselves in that situation. Have you ever been cheated on? It's the worst. It's the worst. And not only being cheated on by someone who has been cheating with your man, right? Been cheating since before you even got with your man, tried to befriend you, cheating with your man, befriended you, made you feel like you were crazy, but they were actually doing what you thought they were doing, and they were gaslighting you the entire, like, that is a horrifying existence for anyone. Nobody would like to find themselves in Diana's shoes. Every woman on earth, well, maybe not every woman, but many, 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 many women know what it's like to be cheated on, and it's not a good feeling. So there's no love with Charles and Camilla. There is no love. People do not like that they did that. Beyond the fact that he's the king, they see him as an adulterous man. They see her as a homewrecker. They do not respect these two people. So it really cuts deep that this is the reaction to Charles and Camilla versus the reaction to Harry and Meghan. And that's the whole reason for this big kerfuffle about the whole thing. It's just like they can't stand that this was the reaction to Harry and Meghan, the genuine reaction, right? It's like how you view a child. It's new, it's innocent, there's no, nothing there. Just all sweetness, all oohs and ahs, it's just like you view a baby, just cuddly and gorgeous. This was just a cuddly, gorgeous tour. Harry and Meghan's love electrified everybody else. It gave everybody else the feel goods. We were all in the romantic mood. Everyone was on their honeymoon with them in this tour. This tour was only 5 months after they got married. They got married in May of 2018, and this tour was in October of that year. So like we were on their honeymoon with them, and the electricity from that was just it was in the air. It was palpable, So these, I think, are the royal role models. These are the two that you can look to and say, yeah, these two are really doing what they do. They're a good example. And why wouldn't Australians want them there? They've never, ever, ever, in my opinion, put a foot wrong. And I'm not saying that they're perfect. That's not me saying that they're perfect. What I mean is, publicly speaking, I've never seen Harry or Meghan behave in a way that would cause me to raise an eyebrow. They've never put a foot wrong. They've never done anything, misstep or anything like that. If you consider some of the things that they've done to be missteps, that's probably because they've aimed those things towards you. I've seen some of the commentary about the statement they put out, for example, saying like, oh, well, why would they put out a statement? Why wouldn't they put out a statement? You consider that a misstep because it's standing up for themselves, right? We know that like when you stand up for yourselves, people will call you a capital B, they'll call you this, they'll call you names, they'll call you everything in the book. But at the end of the day, what caused you to say that is the fact that these two are standing up for themselves. You can't be racist in peace. You can't be sexist in peace. You can't be violent towards them in peace. You can't harass them in peace. That's why you're saying that this is a mistake. We should be able to harass these two people in peace, and you're not. And that's what's really challenging for you guys right now. A lot of women are labeled B words because they refuse to let people step all over them, be a doormat. And I think it's the case with Harry and Meghan too. If you think that it's a misstep that they're speaking out, that's you. That's you. I feel like everyone has the right to do that. Everyone has the right to speak out. Everyone has the freedom of speech to say what they need to say, especially when they're being attacked for no reason. Because how and where? How and where? This is one of my favorite pictures. Meghan was like stuck. She didn't know what was going on. No. This was when they were at that cafe and they were hearing about the mental health challenges some of the children were going through. And Meghan has these very expressive faces whenever she talks to youth and like kids. I remember the first time that Harry showed her like a prosthesis for a bone, I'll bring that picture up sometime. She was shook, and she still is always shook. You can always tell how she's feeling from her expressions, even though she's a very well PR trained person. Sometimes what you tell her will just shake her. We saw this in Jordan too. There was so many pictures of her in Jordan looking just like this. Like how? Like where do they do that at? You know, she has this very expressive face. So this was me. This was me. Like, how and where do people just allow you to say whatever and never say anything back to you? It just, it gets to a point. It gets to a point. Oh, and you know what? That reminds me, to all the men and women who email me and you're like concerned, and you have this really great feedback. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I don't mean to sound like melancholy or anything, I guess, on my lives or my videos, but I do always want to bring y'all like the real. Here, we do tune out the noise. You'll never see me quoting like a GB News person. You'll never see me playing clips of royalists, even when they are speaking shockingly affirmative to Harry and Meghan. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. Hey, Patricia, I'm late, so listening in now and hope everyone is, hey, yeah, we're doing well. Replay gang, gang, gang. Yeah, no, girl, we're just catching up on Australia and why everyone's all freaked out about it. But yeah, no, I got a lot of emails after the last live concerning like their upcoming Australia trip. I get a lot of emails anyways and like DMs anyways, but like especially more so during this last like couple of weeks. And yeah, I don't mean to sound like melancholy or anything, but there's really nothing to laugh about right now. Like life is good, don't get me wrong, but right now is a very precarious, tentative time. Millions of people are going through a very rough time right now. And I always want to highlight that as well. There's a duality to life, right? There's the goodness of life, but there's also the realization that not a lot of people get to experience that every day. There's millions of people that are experiencing the opposite of that as we speak. So I want to highlight that. I don't think that it's too sad for this channel or anything like that. I do try to keep it positive, but if we can dedicate even just a portion of our time to highlighting that, I think it's for good cause. And also, thanks for the great ideas. Expressing different ways that you guys all help in your communities across the world, that really brightens my day as well. One of the highlights of doing this channel has always been the feedback. Now, usually on social media, the comments, as Saucy Santana once said, are not on your side. But I take time daily in gratitude. I take a daily like gratitude ritual, and I thank myself and my surroundings for supporting me. I thank the wilderness, my parents, my grandparents, everyone who's ever taught me like how to exist peaceably with the earth and intelligently with other people. That's the highlight of my day. It's always been the highlight, basking in that knowledge and understanding that love always wins. And all of you guys' messages and emails and stuff remind me of that every day. Like, here's me right now, just chilling, understanding that love always wins. I was initially surprised, right? When I started getting emails about the channel, like it did surprise me. But as time went on, it got to be a great part of my weekly routine. And now I sit with my tea and my homemade puff puff and go through my messages and DMs every Sunday. And it's a really special time for me. It's also dawned on me that a lot of people are going through some of the same things that I discuss on this channel. And that's what brings us all together. It's a great unifier. The fact that we all have pretty much the same experiences, No matter where we are, we can always connect on that. So the really good news is that I'll be doing this on Royal Poppy more, surrounding the emails. I want people to see them and share some of them because honestly, you guys have really great ideas. And I really appreciate everything that this, what, 8 years brought me. I started my Instagram channel in October of 2018 and this YouTube channel in 2022. But yeah, no, I've kept all the DMs, I've kept all the emails, I've kept everything. And I think now is a really good time to get into some of those. So, again, if you haven't already subscribed to Royal Poppy, do so. I'm probably going to do live format on there as well, like more lives and videos, if I do videos at all, really. But yeah, I want it to be as real and as tapped into every day as possible. So we will still have some like royal stuff on there, royal coverage on there, but for the most part, it's going to be more centered on, the squad. But yeah, no. I really appreciate that. And I think that that's just like a microcosm. Like the squad itself is a microcosm of how Harry and Meghan, how Harry and Meghan's like fandom works. We're all really tuned in, really locked in, as the kids say, as that lady said on Her Best Life. Like we're locked in, and I'm really excited to see what else comes about, especially in this upcoming tour. But I wanted to just come online and mostly point out that if you're hearing a bunch of noise about Australia or really any other tour, it's primarily because the referendum is upon them. This referendum is upon them. The last referendum failed, which was in 1999, but I think 27 years is a very long time, and a whole entire generation has grown up from there. And I think that they're actually really loud. That generation is extremely loud about the fact that they want a referendum. So I don't know that any other royals going to Australia would be feasible at this time because of how loud that outcry is. What they did in Australia, what the royal family did in Australia has really never been forgiven or forgotten. It's just that unfortunately, the media, and they have Murdoch out there. So unfortunately, the right-wing media is going to showcase to you that there are so many royalists and so many people who love the crown, and oh, look at Sky News, and these people are reporting on in Australia. There's a lot of people reporting loudly that people are for the crown in Australia, but they're actually a vocal minority. They're very much the vocal minority. And they can't stop things like this from happening. Lydia Thorpe and all of her cohorts are going to continue coming out and confronting Charles and Camilla wherever they go, whether it's in Australia or anywhere else. People are sick and tired of this PDF file class coming around, acting like they're holier than thou, acting like they have any honor whatsoever. They're like the worst people on earth. And they got the nerve to come there and start bestowing honors on people. Like, what honor do you have? You have nothing in the way of integrity. And you're coming over here and acting like we're supposed to be so impressed by the fact that you tumbled out of the right vagina once upon a time. Like, why is that impressive? You had nothing to do with that. You had nothing to do with the fact that you're the son of the former queen. That was not an accomplishment. That was nothing to behold. So Patricia Nixon, because Charles knew about it first and he leaked it, so Harry had to announce. Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Did Charles leak it? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's actually what happened, because Charles he wants something bad to happen to his son. He has wanted something bad to happen to his son since he was told that his son didn't want to participate in these reindeer games anymore. That's why he leaked their address when they were in Canada. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if it turned out that he actually leaked it. Which is why I'm just not a fan of like Harry reconciling with Charles. It's just not like a great, in my opinion. It's just like, why would you? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. I just feel like Charles is one of those dads that's going to harm you no matter what. He doesn't care. He will say the right things. He might even keep some things close to the vest. We haven't yet seen that picture of Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie that Harry said that he gave to his dad when he went there last. So Charles is keeping that close to the vest to try to like make it seem like there's some goodness left in him, but that's a Darth Vader lie. Like you are just waiting for the right time to betray him with the picture too. You're waiting for the right time to leak that picture of your grandchildren. I don't know what time you think is going to be deemed worthy, but I know that it's not that he's trying to salvage the relationship and that's why he's holding that picture close. He's holding that picture close for the right time. I think probably he's going to release that picture before he kicks the bucket, like when he knows he's going to kick the bucket finally, so that he can ensure that Harry and Meghan and the kids come to his funeral. I think that that's probably what he's waiting on. He's been trying to make that arrangement happen for a while now, and he's been trying to make fetch happen for a while now, according to his press rota, according to the outlets that he reports to or that he gives these crumbs of information to. So I don't know. It's all just really weird, and I don't really necessarily even like going over it, but yeah. Callie Jen, Australia, as well as some Caribbean countries not putting Chuck on any money. Looking towards, yes, national heroes instead. Yes. And that's it. They don't want anything to do with Charles. They want to smoke and mirrors you into thinking that Charles and Camilla are popular, that they have the same level of respect and popularity that the Queen Elizabeth had. That's not true. That is just not true at all. Even Harry and Meghan, I venture to say, are much more popular. This was a moment, this balcony moment, this red dress moment, this burgundy moment, like every moment in Australia for them was a viral moment. Every single one of these images were viral. 16 days in a row, just image after image, speech after speech. She spoke at that school about women and girls getting an education and how she cobbled together the money that she had to and did work study and all the things that she did. She spoke at the suffrage day event in Wellington. She just came out there and absolutely stunned the world with her poise, right? And her elegance, and most importantly, her brain. This was Meghan's big introduction to the world stage as far as being a member of the British royal family, a senior working royal. This was her big first event, big first tour, and she nailed it. Every outfit went viral. Every event went viral. Every outing was viral. Everything she said was picked up and traveled across the world in no time. This was what Lydia was wearing, by the way. This shroud that Meghan has around her shoulders in the very far left picture here, that's what Lydia Thorpe was wearing. That indigenous native shroud of protection that they covered Harry and Meghan with in Australia. That's what Lydia was wearing. That's how she was able to get so close to the king, because she had this shroud of protection on. That's how she was able to bypass all the security and come right into his face. I'll never get over that. I'll never get over that. That was just such a moment. She is such a baddie for that. Oh my God, she is such a baddie. But yeah, this was like well received. And it was the most popular royal tour to the point where everyone just couldn't get enough of the events, of the dresses, of the outfit changes. This De La Renta here, this bird De La Renta, it spiked the website 1,000% when she wore this Oscar de la Renta dress to the it was like the wildlife, there was like a wildlife type of award that she was giving out, like a conservation award that she was giving out. And this dress was everything. She paired it with her black Aquazzura Danube bow tie heels, her signature heels. Like this was just a look. And all of these looks really went viral. The one on the very left, this all blue Givenchy number, every single bit of it went left. This white Karen Gee in the middle, Karen Gee. Like I know that name till today because Meghan went to Australia in this dress. You know what I mean? Like that is the impact that this tour had, that these looks had with the designers that she wore them, or that the designers that she wore. Super impactful, super meaningful. And the best part about it is the generation of income, like the generation of attention, all of the things that this tour generated were so good. Like Dubbo, which was a very very much like unknown, kind of like obscure place, like that's on the map now. People will forever remember Dubbo. They will always remember what Harry and Meghan did out there. Hey, Diane. Good to see you, hon. The De La Renta bird dress is my favorite. Man, that was a look. That was a look. It was the first time that people had really seen anything like that, right? Don't get me wrong, royal ladies have worn beautiful gowns, beautiful dresses forever. Like we've all seen the gorgeous dresses that Diana and, from time to time Elizabeth, strolled out in, but this De La Renta dress was insane. It was just so different. It was so unique. It was so Meghan, right? It was like opera meets, I don't know, opera meets modern. It was like a modern opera of a dress, I guess. It's so good, right? All her dresses went utterly viral, and it was a great time, and everybody looked at this tour and understood that Meghan and Harry were such a powerhouse. They were such a force for change and for good. Meghan looks like she could be an indigenous person. She looks like several generations of indigenous persons. She looks like most of the Commonwealth. So this was the perfect tour for them to embark on because they knew how Meghan would relate to the individuals that they went to go and see. So it was good on the Queen for understanding that this was important as far as maintaining her Commonwealth. Now, her son and her grandson aren't smart enough to understand that you need people like this on board, but here we are. Yeah, no tiara needed. She probably could have, what I've understood about that is that she could have opted for a tiara at those state dinners that she went to. That is protocol. Ordinarily, they would be able to wear their tiaras at a state dinner, but Meghan is not a tiara girl. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually really glad that that tiara was the only tiara that she wore during her wedding, because it's not even like it's not even like a natural look on her. Like she doesn't need a crown on her head symbolizing monarchy and oppression. If anything, what I would have really loved to have seen is her in some ceremonial garb, some indigenous ceremonial crowns, especially when she was in Nigeria. They have these beautiful traditional headwear as far as the royals. They have, it's like a coral, like a bright orange, round, oblong bead type situation. And they make their crowns out of that. Very intricate crowns, very intricate like neck pieces and wrist pieces. Like I would have loved to see Meghan in some of that. I do not care for the crowns that the British royal family have. Every single one of those diamonds are stolen. They are dripping in blood. They are not clean, you know, not just a pair of earrings here or there. Like all of the stuff, even the stuff that they're given from other nations, those nations suppressed other people to get those jewels that they gifted the crown. So none of it is clean. The only clean jewelry that the crown actually has is if they are actually going out and purchasing the jewelry for themselves with their own money. And even that is not necessarily clean because where are they getting the money from? They don't have jobs. They're pretty much yanking the British people by their ankles over a balcony and making them, empty their pockets. That's how they're getting their money. And you can't tell me the duchy is personal income because who gave them that land? Who told them that land was theirs to be building and charging people to exist on those pieces of land? Like, why do they get to claim land that doesn't belong to them, especially in other countries? Why do you get to lay claim to land in other countries? That's just ridiculous. I still do not understand this whole concept of the Commonwealth. Ever since Harry broke it down beautifully in that documentary and let us know that the Commonwealth was nothing more than like formerly colonized countries, why would you agree to participate in that? Why would you agree to participate? I will never understand why countries like Nigeria and other countries that were just absolutely brutalized by these people would turn around and say, "Yeah, let's go ahead and symbolically be part of this community." And symbolically is the only part that they are in the community. They do not have the right to travel to the UK as part of the Commonwealth. They do not have easier access. They don't have an easier go of anything being part of this royal family Commonwealth. They are still very much suppressed. And then it's really like weird because if you're part of the Commonwealth and you reach out to your head of state saying, "Hey, we're still being brutally oppressed by France over here. Can you help us out?" And they say no, well then what's the commonality? I don't understand. France is still brutally oppressing a majority of like the western seaboard of Africa, and then other places are still imposing themselves on countries like Congo, stealing their resources, the cobalt and the things that they mine out of Congo. Like there's so much oppression still going on. So where's the commonality? Where are you finding this commonplace with the British royal family? Can you ask them for anything? Can they help you do anything? Are you gleaning anything from them other than the suppression? They're not doing anything. I don't understand. Where's the commonplace in this commonwealth that you guys refer to? You can't even get a visa out there. It's very difficult to get a visa to the UK from a commonwealth country in Africa. So what's the deal? I'm just like, tell me what's up with that. And I don't know, it's just an important conversation to have because you have news, really good news that comes from people I love. Like this week, it was announced that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is going to be the new global icon for the 2026 Bulgari campaign, which I had kind of mixed emotions about. On the one hand, you go, girl, do your thing. Heck yes. All the things. This is amazing. I love you for this. You look so good. All the things, right? But on the other hand, this brand is very much not a brand that I would ever endorse. I just, oh, I just need it to be a more definitive line. I need these people, if you're going to reach out and say that you're part of a commonwealth and say that, you want to work with Africans or Africa, stop with the exploitation. Stop with the exploitation. If I were in Chimamanda's position, and hopefully she has done this because I know the kind of woman she is from her many, 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 many speeches and her books. She is going to have told them, look, I need XYZ in place. I need at least XYZ in place as far as something beneficial, tangibly beneficial to my people, to Africa. You need to provide something in the way of perhaps a fashion school or a fashion mentorship program, a fine arts program, something in that vein for me to be able to do this. So the contract can't just be completely capitalistic. It should include some sort of social welfare for others. And knowing Chimamanda, she's very, very selfless. She's someone who wants the best for the greater good. She has always been like that for as long as I've been onto her. And I learned about Chimamanda back in 2010. So, she's a huge figure in the Nigerian landscape. And this is a major campaign. And I'm so happy for her. I just really hope that, she's able to get something fulfilled in the way of bringing that back to others, to pay it forward, so to speak, because she does a lot of good in the community. And, I just hope that that's the case. In these contracts, they usually do have some sort of clause. And I hope that this is also going to see like a campaign, like a parallel campaign in Africa. I'm not sure, but I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to see the campaign itself, to see what it entails. I know in my heart that there will be some really good news at the end of all this. So congratulations to Chimamanda. She's one of my icons. She is huge in Nigerian lore, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see what else she brings. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. But one last thing I want to get to here. I have looked for this particular outfit, this top in particular, for a very long time. I've put it into Google Images. I've done all the things. I cannot find it anywhere. So if you know where this outfit can be located, please DM me, please email me, reach out to me, inbox me, something. I need this top so bad for an upcoming wedding. I have to have it, but I don't know where I saw it. And again, Google is being of no use to me. So if you know, please reach out. But other than that, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up here, you guys. I want to play a really quick clip. If you have enjoyed this particular live stream, buy me a coffee. Show some love at buymeacoffee.com/the People's Duchess. You can also shop my Etsy at Shop Squatty at the People's Duchess 1. We have new drops every quarter, and I'm really excited. I've almost completed like the new quarter of stuff. So like it's a lot, but if you go onto my Etsy now, there's also free shipping for Women's Women's History Month all March long. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this amazing clip of Meghan doing her thing. Thank you again for joining me. To everyone in the chat, shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the members. I will have probably the first members only, probably the first stream on Royal Poppy will be members only. So we can just kind of like chat and hang out and you guys can see exactly what that's about. And then we'll get into the regular scheduled program. So thank you to you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week ahead. Please be safe out there. Be kind to yourselves. And until next time, bye for now.
Another side, to know that life is worth living. Yes, I am feeling much better about everything. Thank you.